Hey, welcome back to Programming through Mobile App Development. Today we're going to be doing a conceptual demo for Lab 2, which is a follow-up to the HTML refresher lecture. So, the framing of this one is all about, we're going to just make a super simple website. So the idea is we're going to build a simple website for the client, i.e. me, the client's cat, a little bit. You'll see why she's nice in a minute. So what is provided is a list of cat facts and 3 images. Yes, this is super dorky. That's kind of the point. It's a toy example of a dorky website request. So this is the demo notes file right here. I've created like a little demo folder. I'm not working in the same one that we were last time. And here's the list of materials. So we have catfacts.txt. Okay, so just a bunch of bulleted facts about this cat. We'll cover those more once we're actually publishing on the site. For now, I'll keep that closed. And we have a little bit 1, a little bit 2, and a little bit 3. She's a good cat, and she likes to sleep like a shrimp sometimes. Okay, so what are we going to actually do to make this website exist, right? So we're starting from a pretty bare bones, empty workspace, right? I have a desktop. I have no apps open really apart from the Finder and the text editor that has my notes here. So what do we actually need? Well, let's walk through what the plan is today. First, we're going to set up our workspace, which is essentially like this, right? This space that we're actually working from. We're going to set up the file structure of the site, making some new folders and making sure the right pages are there. We're going to set up the link structure, just conceptually. We'll plan for this link structure. And then we're going to actually write the HTML to make these pages, come to life with the information on them. And so hopefully some basic debugging and stuff along the way, right? That's why these are live, so you can kind of watch the full process. So let's get started. Let's set up our workspace. First, a text editor. Okay, this is already open for me. This is just text edit. If I want to get at it from the menu bar down here, we have, wait, where are you? Where have you gone? I know you're open somewhere around here. There you are. Really, I mean, you can just, typically these days, you can just search text edit. That's for Mac. It would be Notepad. In fact, I think if I search Notepad, Mac knows that, oh, it doesn't. Interesting. Well, anyway. Okay, so, but your most basic text editor, that's what we're sticking with today. In the future, I'll show you some nicer ones, which will become obvious at some point why we need that. So basic text editor, good. We need a file browser, so good. We have our, in Windows that would be File Explorer. Here it's Finder. It's whatever lets you look at your local files, right? Good, we have that open. We need a web browser. Okay, so let's get new window. Cool. So we have a new Chrome window ready for us to open some simple web pages in them. And then and then finally the FTP client. Now, we don't need to really worry about this just yet, but I'm gonna quit. It's on a different workspace right now. Come on, quit out. It's okay. And then I'll pop it open now, I suppose, but we'll leave it in the background. No, I don't need to install a new version yet. Man, they come up with a new version every like 2 days these days. All right, so FileZilla. All right, we can come back to you, FileZilla. For now, we're going to focus on web page on the right and code and such on the left-ish. Okay, so our workspace is more or less set up. I'm going to keep Xing off things and so we can keep our movement going. Okay, so let's set up our file structure, right? We're going to publish whatever we write here on some website, right? So essentially what we'll do is I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it, I don't know, site dev, right? Workspace. It doesn't matter what you call it, but the point is that we want to have it's a folder set aside. Pop. I'm going to open in a new window. just a place to work, right? It's clean. We don't have a bunch of other files here cluttering up the space, confusing us about what we're actually doing. We just want a space to build our file structure. Okay, so what are we going to need for this website? Well, the idea of the site is you're going to have a main landing page for this site, and we're going to have links to other things. In this case, it'll be a link to the cat facts page and links to images. Okay, so let's start setting up the main directory, right? We know we're going to need an index.html in here, so let's go ahead and get that going. Now, this is my notes, right? But once you open your text editor or notepad, if it doesn't already bring you to a blank file, you can open a new one. Ta-da! So we're just going to go ahead and save this one as index.html. Let me find where have we set up all this stuff. Site dev workspace. Yeah. So this is the main index of our site. Index.html. Yes, use HTML. Thank you. Okay. Aha. We see that the dev workspace has appeared here. We're going to open that real quick. What should happen if I open this completely empty HTML file in the browser? Let's find out. You can just double click it usually. Nothing. Good. Why? Well, because if we look at the page source, there's nothing in it. Line 0, nothing is happening. Cool. Similar if we open the inspector. I'm in the console, but if we look at the Elements tab... Okay, so it it did some nice stuff for us. As I've said before, HTML is pretty friendly in a way that can be a problem. It made us an HTML object, it made us a head, and it made us a body, and it put nothing in all of it. Nice. Okay, well, that ain't where we want to live forever, but that's fine for now. This is our index.html. So, what else do we need? We're going to need a space for our cat facts page. Now, as we said before, you could just have this be a completely flat structure where all of the stuff that you want to place on the pages is, all in the same folder, right? But it's important to divide things up in a way that kind of makes sense for you and for anyone. So we'll just do cat facts as its own sub-page, right? So we're going to make a subfolder called cat facts. And in here, we're going to need to have the page that we need for actually, laying out the cat facts we've been given. So let's make that happen by, again, a new folder, or a new file rather. Again, save this empty file into cat facts, and let's call it, just for the sake of differentiation, catfacts.html. You could use index in there because it would technically be different. It's a different place than the main site index, but just for the sake of clarity during this demo, we'll keep it as cat facts. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do is, because I've decided that I would like the cat images to appear on the cat facts page, right? So let's create, and this is a common practice, let's create a space within that page where those specific items will be used, just a little folder called images, right? IMGS for images. And we're going to put the cat pictures in there. Okay, so let's copy them in. Control C, Command C, Control V, Command V, paste. So great, the little bit images are in there. Nice. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a structure going, right? This is here, let me get a better, I guess you can do the list right here. Yeah. Okay. So we have the main page is out here at the top level. We have a folder for all the cat facts stuff we're going to do. We have an empty cat facts HTML file, and we have some images set aside for that file. Again, you could just do this flat and put everything in the same folder together and no additional folders. But this helps to sort of keep things organized for your own brain, right? Okay, well, I think that we've got the file structure pretty well figured out. Let's go ahead and X off things that we've been doing. We've made some folders and files. We got the main site index and a cat facts page. Hey, all right, we finished the file structure. Now, this next bit is just sort of planning. We can come back to this after we've written the pages, but the main idea is the main index is going to point at the cat facts page, and then the cat facts page will point at each of the images that we have here. Because you want to be able to open those images full size. The whole internet is based on cat pictures, so it's important to have that capacity, and we'll show you how. Okay, so now let's get into writing some HTML. What are these pages going to actually look like? Well, we have a little bit of structure kind of defined for the cat facts page, so maybe we should start there. Cat facts is its own little separate section. Here's the information we need to give, and here's the images that we want to get. Okay, so what are we going to do? Let's actually do a little bit of scratch work here in this demo notes file. Notes on building catfacts.html. So what do we actually have, right? We have a list, and it's a nested list. We see how we have some bullet points and then some sub bullets on this one. Okay, so let's talk about we're going to use okay, that's a list, right? What HTML object do we want to use? Well, it's not really ordered information. It's not like step-by-step stuff, right? It's really just, I want to present all this information side by side. So we want an unordered list, and it's going to need to have list items for each one of these. Okay, cool. Then, is the nested list also unordered, or is it ordered? I think it's unordered, because these are not, again, it's not a list of steps we're trying to present. Okay, so we're going to need some ULs and LIs. Great. We also want to present the images together. Now, the way I would typically do this in this very simple HTML world, let's use a table to present these images together. Now, I know that we've talked about table as primarily being for data, but data can be anything. Data can be an image. So we're going to have an image table. So the table is going to, as always, we need to have at least a row for the table and then some TDs for the table data objects, and also image. Okay, cool. So we have to lay this out. What is this one? This is the table of cat images. We have nested list of cat facts, and then further down, what else will this page need? Probably some headers, right? You could just have a list of facts in a table of images, but that's a little nothing. Let's have some H1. Oh, I don't need the tags for what I'm just listing here. H1, maybe H2 or 3. We'll decide that based on editing it, and whatever. So for each section here, right? And then we may also want to have some space to, give some more padding, basic language to fill out the page a little bit. So some paragraphs, question mark? Not quite sure. We'll get there when we build it, right? So let's go ahead and start on that. How do we build an HTML file from scratch, right? This is cat facts. Well, the first thing you do is this doc type line. Now, we could demonstrate what that does and doesn't do. It doesn't do a whole lot visually, but internally what this does is it assures, hey, web browser that loads this code, I am an HTML file and I am the current HTML version. That's all that really does. It's important to have it up there. It can make things really wonky if you don't, but we don't need to focus on it. So what else does an HTML file need? Well, we know it needs an HTML tag. We need the head. And we need the body. Cool. All right, great. That is a super simple web page with nothing in it. Nice. Let's start building some of the things we've already planned to build, huh? Let's get the cat facts in there somewhere. So somewhere in the body, we want this basic setup. So I'm using spaces in this super simple text editor. Better text editors know how to do white space a little bit more, less effortfully. But for now, we'll just use a couple spaces per indent. Sound good? So in the body, what do we need to display this list? Well, let's start with a header, and let's start with Let's go with an H3. I'm kind of building from the middle here, but that's fine. I'm just building one little piece of this page at a time. List of bugs and features, I'll call this. This is Little Bits list of features. Okay. Let's just look at what that looks like right now by loading this page up. So I can double click facts.html. It's not open yet. Hey, look at that. We have a quick header. Nice. Let's continue looking. Where did my file go? Okay. So let me move it over here a little bit nicer. Okay. So we're trying to get all of these facts into the body of this file, right? So these facts need to go in here somewhere. What are we going to need to do? Remember, we talked about UL and LI. So we need to build a list here, right? Let's build a list. So an unordered list, UL, and I'll go ahead and close it. And then we will say list item, right? So we've created a list, and now we need to have our first list item. Let's copy the first text into that list item, make sure to close it, save it, and reload. Hey, look at that. We have a simple bulleted item. Great. So now let's do the same thing, but I want to show you a quick way to make light work of your own stuff. We can set up what this line looks like, and then we can copy it a few times. So you know what I'm doing there? I'm hitting enter, and then I have copied all of the spaces and the list item portion, and I'm just hitting paste. So Command V, Control V, Control V. So now we have a little bit of scaffolding set up. Ooh, okay. Makes it easier to copy and paste things. Let's go ahead and do a bunch of them. So let's read them out as we go. So she was found in the middle of winter, hiding in the raccoon enclosure in a Hudson Valley Wildlife Preserve. True fact about Little Bit. Her roommate was at the wildlife preserve was a groundhog named Goethe. Goethe was recovering from being hit by a car and could only turn left. As far as I know, she is probably an American short hair breed. I know that she can't meow properly. Oh, we don't need these extra spaces. I've given them those for no specific reason, but they don't matter. I just want to be a little more consistent with how we are typing things. So, okay, this is looking a little bit cluttered. It's okay. It's not bad, but just know LI means the start of a list item, and the end over here means the end of it. Now, this file is sort of doing line wrap. I would usually prefer not wrapping to page. Oops. Let's undo wrapping to page and do wrap to window. Something went strange there. You know what? It doesn't matter. So, but the fact is, this is still the HTML code, right? One line item, one list item, another list item, etc. Why are these still showing the empty bits? Come on, I'm not doing that. Okay, now here's a trick. She can't meow properly. Interesting. The next item is another list. It's a sublist. I expand on the fact that she can't meow properly with two other facts about that specific fact. So, how do we do a nested list? Well, what we're going to do is insert another UL right underneath it. We're going to say, here's another list. Here is a list item. I'm going to do my trick again of just copying the text. I'm doing a bad job of doing that. Do right there, and then we will close this sublist, right? Okay, so let's get those items in. Well, first let's look at what the page looks like. Remember, I'm saving constantly here. Every time I leave this over, you hit save and then you go and see if it runs, right? So, okay, great. It's working. We have set up the list. Let's get the information in there. She just opens her mouth to meow. Nothing to mimic a meow. Unless she's really upset, then she can produce those famous wails that cats are used to creating. I did a little bit of bad capitalization. Okay, and then the last three, let's see, 1, 2, 3 list items. We got too many. The last three, a little bit is not graceful. A little bit is pretty strong. She has little beefy arms. She can climb any couch you give her. She can't jump very well, but she can climb. And then she's also super sweet. So let's just get that last fact. Cool. What's this look like? Hey, we have finished adding our list of bugs and features of this cat. All right, so this is a simple HTML file that has just one unordered list and one header 3. Let's put a little more in here. Let's at least introduce this, what this page is all about. H1 with little bit fact sheet. And if we do that, all right, cool. The other thing I wanted to get in here. Oh wait, let's check in on our things. So we've done some nested list stuff. We've done a few basics, right? We've gotten some headers and some UL and LIs in here. What else do we want? Well, sometimes it's good to just have some readable text to get people initiated. So this is a space for understanding the detailed data associated with my cat. Now, is that factual? Not really. Remember, this is a toy example. I'm just goofing mostly. We're just making some things up. In fact, down here, I'll put another one for myself. P. That's it. I'm all out of facts. All right, cool. Really, now what pedagogical purpose am I doing this? Just to show how adding things in the page kind of, cleans everything up and makes it flow a little bit. It's not just a loose grab bag of items. Now, the last thing I wanted to have on this page is the table of cat images. So we could have a header for that, or we could just place it. But what is it going to look like? Well, we want to have, my plan for this is to have the table of images of her, which we can review here, set up in a row next to each other. So a simple table that spans it's not loading very quickly. Has 3 columns, just one row of photos. How do we do this? Okay, well, we're going to we could set up the table first, or we could make some images first. I think I'm going to go with make some images first. So IMG, the way you do an image is you specify the IMG tag, and then you say the source, attribute is some file path, right? So from here, from the page catfacts.html, we want to know, where do I go to get the image that I want? Okay, well then, here, if I just type littlebit.jpg, what's that going to do? Littlebit1.jpg, right? That's the name of the file. Oop, okay, jeez, okay. What's this going to do? Well, first we should close the tag. Images, you don't typically put anything inside of them, like between the tags. There are things you can do with that, but really it's not the convention. So image tags you open and close immediately, more or less. Let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, we get that old broken image link thing. What's gone wrong? Why have I not been able to load this? Well, one thing we could do is we could ask the interpreter. Let's go to the console real quick. Failed to load resource. File not found. Interesting. So again, if you go over here, Elements has your sort of your HTML source. You can bop around and look at each item. But over here, the console will give you sort of errors and also let you do JavaScript stuff later in the future. So failed to load resource, file not found. The reason is we didn't give it the folder, right? So we told this script, look in my same folder for a file named this. So instead we do imgs. slash little bit dot one. Okay, load it up. Oh goodness, well it worked, but that's a big photo, huh? Here's a cat. Where's the rest of our text? Who knows? No one will ever see it in this ocean of cat. So what we do, oh, her feet. So what we do is we need to specify a width parameter. So width equals, and when you do width attribute, you do it in pixels. So let's make the width 100 pixels and see what that looks like. Save it, reload it. Okay, that's a bit better. It could maybe be a little larger. Let's see what 200 looks like. Nice. Okay, I like that. I like the 200 pixels here. Okay, so now this is an image. We need to get all three of these images here, right? If I do this, I've just copy and pasted, right? Save yourself work. Copy your own stuff. You know, it's an image tag. We just need to make it work. Now, if I do this, what happens? 3 images. Interesting. 3 images side by side. They are all the same image, you see, because I didn't change which file they were pointing to. I just copy pasted. So let's do each one. Reload it. There we go. That's the progression I was looking for. Wonderful. Okay, great. Now, this looks okay. I did have the goal of using a table. I'm starting to second guess that just for the purpose of this demo. Do we need to? You know what? Let's do it. Just to show that this functions very similarly within a table as well, right? Tables are allowed to have images. I want to prove that to you. So let's make a quick table. Here we are. We are below where these images are, and we're above where the list of bugs and features are. Cool. So let's make a table. What do we do here? We do table is the main structure. We have table row is the substructure. And then we have each table data, TD. And I'm going to do the same thing we did with the lists. I'm going to copy this and all its white space, and then just enter, paste, enter, paste. Good, good, good. We have 3 data items in one row of a table. What will they be? Aha, they will be these images. I'm going to cut them and paste them. Save it. See how it looks. What do we got? Reload. Hey, okay, well, it looks identical, but let's look at the code. Let's look at the inspector and go to the Elements tab and check it out. We have a table. Oh, look at that. We have table, table body, table row, each table data. Great. It's doing the thing. Now, it looks the same. That's fine, I guess, right? But again, this is sort of about showing off how tables do their thing. It was not a super necessary part of building this little page, but it's something that we can still learn from. So let's go look up. I honestly always forget how to enable borders in a table. So HTML only, HTML table borders. Let's do a quick search. Go to W3 Schools. How to add a border. They want us to do this with CSS. Maybe I should wait. You know, I'll do a little bit. I'll do this little bit of CSS just to show what how that works. It's a preview for next time, let's call it. So if we want the border of each of our table data items to be 1 pixel solid black, we can do that. Let me just give you that quick little preview. The way you do that is in the head, you can have what's called a style tag. So the idea here is that you can just dump some CSS code, which in this case, this is saying, I want tables, table headers, and table data all to have this kind of border. Let's just do that real quick. Little aside again to show you how it, oh, that's not right. We got to paste you without paste and match style. Yeah, yuck. Don't do that. Get some indentation back. And so now what this little chunk of style has said on this specific page, it says, I want tables, table headers, and table data to all have this kind of border. Let's go check that real quick. Look at that. Is that uglier? Yes. Is it slightly different? Yeah. In fact, here's a preview of how you can change everything. Oh, such thick. Now it looks like portraits on a wall. Okay, let's make it brown instead of black. All right, cool. Now, we'll talk about that in the future. Again, no worries. This is not what you were responsible for the lab. This is just a preview of how you would use this stuff. So, great. We have a little bit fact sheet. We have images. Great, great, great. Little images. Now, there is still something missing from the spec here. We want to be able to link each of these images to the full image, right? These are just shrunken down versions on this page. How do I make it so if I click one of these, it will open the image? Aha. Well, that comes down to you can add just like you can have an image be part of the table data, you can have an image be part of a link. So let's get in here. Just gonna separate things up a bit. Same idea still, right? This is still a table data item, right? I've just kind of separated it to make it clearer. We're gonna now add an anchor. A, so remember A is for link, and the href is going to be the same thing. It's going to be images / a little bit 1.jpg. So now, after we finish the image, okay, now this is cluttered. Let me continue to separate things with new lines to make sure it's not totally cluttered for your understanding of what's happening. Okay, let's break this down. This table has a row, and that row has a table data item, and that table data item has a link that contains an image. Okay, so this now should, if this works properly, change that first image to not just be an image, but now it's a link. You see the hand, right? The clicker that always means link. If I click it, we open the photo. Wonderful. Let's do the same thing for all three of these, right? So what did we do? You know what? This is one of those small crossroads where we could edit these lines, or we could just copy paste. Let me delete both of these lines, and now we'll just copy this line, paste that, and we got to make sure to change these so that they're correct, right? A little bit 1, a little bit 1, a little bit 2, a little bit 2, nope, 2, a little bit 3, a little bit 3. Now let's reload the page. We have this, nice. They each open the photo of the kitty. That's wonderful. Awesome. All right, this is the fact sheet. We have completed the basic job of this assignment here, right? Of this this client. We have created the fact sheet as described. Wonderful. And we've added the links to get you to the full-sized images of the cat. Awesome. So what now? What's left? We've gone through writing the HTML of this specific page, right? We've had a little bit of everything here. I think I can mark these all off. We've done each one. Oop, oop. We've done each thing. Great. And let's see. I can already mark off that we've covered a bunch of the basics, right? A bunch of the basic elements we talked about. We've covered the nested emphasis on lists and tables, right? So again, this shows that this is a table. This is a table row. This is a table data within that row. And this is a link that contains an image. Let's do that again from the inspector. Right quick. And here's our table. Here, I'll spread it out a bit so it's more visible. Okay, here's the table. Here's the body of the table, that internal section. Here's one row of that body. Here's the table data 1 with a link. The link gets a little confused about where it lives, but the image still counts, right? When you hover over it, it still loads it. So, ta-da! There we go. Great. Another thing that we can do here is, you know what? We're gonna skip doing the hashtag stuff. You can explore that your own in the lab. Promise it won't be too harrowing. It's really about going to Wikipedia and messing around. And we've shown some basic debugging. Blah, 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 blah. What's left? We need that main index, right? So this is one page of the little bit website. Now we need some kind of starting page to, to get things going. So let's say this is good. Now let's go to index.html. Oop. Again, it should be empty. Oh, I have 2 tabs of it. It's the same. We'll keep the first one open with the nice that thing going. Okay. What do we want this main page to be? Now, the client has not specified this, right? There was no supplemental material to say, oh, what should the main website look like? And this is where you would, improvise, do some interesting things on your own. Let's get going with, let's keep the pace, doc type HTML. So we're going to do HTML. We're going to do head. And then we're going to do body. And, okay, what do we want in the body? Well, the only thing that has been specifically mentioned in any of our prep material is it needs to at least have a link to the little bit fact sheet. So let's start right there, right? Let's go to another smaller header, links, right? Now, in the future, if you get more fancy with all this, you might make your links section sort of like a side panel or something, right? Most websites these days have some button you can hit that will show you the navigation menu. This would be sort of the navigation. In fact, we might even call it navigation. Okay, so now what is the actual thing that we're going to display here? Well, Lilbit's web page only has 1 page of note right now, but in the future it will be a list of things. So let's do a UL, and we're going to do 1 LI, and that's going to be an anchor, so a link. Href is going to be, where are we linking to? We're linking into cat facts, the folder, / cat facts.html. That's a little bit redundant, but it's still useful. So cat facts. Let's load the page. Aha! Navigation bar is set up with cat facts. Wonderful. And we might also want some talk just to introduce the idea. So this will be maybe a bigger header, and we're going to put it below just to kind of keep with the thought that in the future that navigation bar might be, above everything else. It might be its own whole little section. But I need to not separate that, but I prefer not to. Lil Bits website. Okay. Ooh. Why? Uh-oh. We've done something that makes Lilbit's website still a link. Oh gosh. That's not great. What happened? Let's debug real quick. Right off the bat, what do you think happened? This is not interactive, so I'm not going to give you too long to think about it, but the idea being something is making everything after a certain point a link. And the fact is, I didn't close this link. I could put a lot more information here, and it would all... Here, let's just copy paste this whole thing a whole bunch. Oh god, they're all linked. They're all the same link. In fact, let's look in here. Here's the href. Oh, but look, all of them are nested within that anchor. Ah, shoot. So, how do we fix it? It's almost always super simple. You close the tag. properly. Let's reload. The tag is closed. That little link is no longer spreading out to the whole rest of the website. Okay, great. So Little Bits website. We'll do a quick little intro text. This is a space for documenting all things kitty about a sweet cat. Okay. Simple web page. Now, something else is busted here. What did I do wrong? I was moving a little fast. Why is this indented? That's a little mixed up, right? Do we have an error? Console. No, it's okay with it. The web browser's fine with what happened. Let's investigate. So, inside the body, we have one header. Cool. We have an ordered list. Ooh, uh-oh, that ordered list contains everything. Once again, something's busted. We have the one list item. Okay, that's fine. That has the link. It has the marker. We also... Ooh, everything is inside here. Back to the code. What happened? I misspelled the tag closure. I closed it as UK as opposed to UL, an unordered list. So, let's fix it and reload it. Super simple, right? Now we have a navigation bar at the top, quote bar, right? Navigation section, we can say. And then we have Little Bits website. And this is a place for documenting all things kitty about a sweet cat. Cool. We could throw on an image just for the sake of it. Let's make it look nice. Let's just have the viewer introduced to the cat right away. Let's do one of these images that we have. Let's get the one where she's looking at the camera. Okay, that one's good. Image number 2, src equals. Now, if we want to get this image onto the main page, we are out here. We're in index.html right now. How do we get in here? Well, we have to go into the cat facts folder that we're in, and then into the images folder beneath that. So let's do cat facts /images /littlebit1 or 2.jpg, right? And let's go ahead and supply some width. Let's say width should be another one that you can use is %. So let's say width is 60% of the full width of the page. Well, there we go. This is not a good web page. I want you to recognize. This is not a site that adds value to the world, really, apart from showing you guys some neat facts about my sweet cat. But it is a functional little website. It is 2 pages connected. We have the structure all figured out. We've got 2 HTML files written. Not a whole lot. I guess one more thing we could do is give them a title. So in the head section, if you add a title, that allows you to decide what will be displayed at the top. So we'll say Little Bits website is the title of this page, and then we'll make the title of the cat facts page up here where I did the style. Title is Little Bit facts. Let's reload each one. Little Bits website. Oh, I clicked in too fast. Okay, Little Bit facts. Great. I would say, and we have solved the cat facts navigation. You know what? Let's do one more thing. Just a simple web design thing. Let's add in the same way that we've added the navigation section above everything else in the main directory page. Let's put one in here in the cat facts page. So right before everything else happens, we're going to put a navigation section. And this one will be very similar, but this is going to be, instead of going here, we're going to go up to the main index. So how do we get to the main index from here? We are in the cat facts folder, but we want to go up a folder and then over to the index. So to do that, you do ... means go up a folder / and then what do you need from that folder? Index.html. And instead of cat facts, that's not what that link is to. main index. Oh, this is Littlebit's website. If we go in here, we still have the, okay, we have navigation back to the main index, and then we have other stuff about the cat. Let's go back up. Look at that. We can just keep going back and forth. Ain't that wonderful? So now Littlebit's tiny website exists. We can close this bit about borders. And yeah, that's where we're at. We have successfully written a very tiny and silly website for a cat. Let's make sure we covered everything else. I've got all the HTML writing done. We did get the link structure nailed down. We did plenty of debugging along the way. Ta-da! Okay, great. So now the last bit is we need to publish. So I should add that, publishing. And that's really just going to involve making sure our connection works. So let's go to my FileZilla. I'm going to connect. My connection is saved to the Oswego Computer Science Department server. You can connect. Let's see. Okay, I got to get into public HTML. And then I'm going to publish this in the ISC 250 demo section. So we have a very simple one there. Let's do create a directory in there called demo2. And then demo2. That feels like a good space to just replicate everything we did here. So our site dev workspace, right? This is our mini website. So we want to get everything from there uploaded here. Where am I? I'm deep in some other space here. Let's go to lab 2. Here, I'm making this harder to see than it should be. This, why did it squunch everything? My goodness. Come on, FileZilla. All right. Well, okay. Remember, FileZilla, we are connected up the top. Good, good, good. We have our remote website and our local site, our local files. Okay, inside this demo, we have Site Dev Workspace. Okay, Site Dev Workspace, Demo 2. We need to get everything from here over there. So let's drop cat facts, and that gets all the subfolders, and let's drop the index. Okay, so now over here, we have cat facts, images, cool, got it. Oh, hard to go back. And the index, okay. This, now that those files have been uploaded to my server, let's go check the proper location. So recall that public HTML is sort of the root of the site. So where should this live in my site? Well, if I go to, here's my whole thing, right? Essentially this fills in for public HTML. So inside FileZilla, we are looking for what part of my website are we in? I think we're in, the next folder would be ISC 250 demos / demo 2. Aha! Well, there we are. This is the live website. This is me having published this slidey cat facts. Nice. Nice, nice. It's all up there. We can go back to the main index. Wonderful, wonderful. We have created a tiny website for this cat, and we have published it on the internet so that anyone can find it, including Google. My cat will be famous someday, maybe. So that's it. We can disconnect. I think this is the button. I always forget. Yeah, disconnect. Shut it down. We're going to do the site, space cleanup. Okay, so we have done everything we need to. I mean, ultimately, it's up on the proper website, so we can close our browser. We can close our workspace specifically for this task. And we can look back at the demo and see that we took these materials and converted it into a website that we then published. Okay. Ta-da! And that's it. Anything else? Just checking with myself before I sign off. I think we're good. So this is, I'll mark the X for the fact that we have published. Okay. So the whole idea of this demo was to get you used to the idea that you can just create new pages, right? You can just create, when you are given a task to achieve, you can just create a page and start writing HTML similar to the way I've done it. remember the nested structure. Remember that you need that doc type line. And when I say need, it will run without it, but it's important to specify, hey, use the current HTML, not whatever you think is the right HTML. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, great. Well, thanks so much, and I hope this helps you along the way to, take the stuff from the lecture and apply it to the lab. All right, take care.